you like these small businesses are like that under $10 million mark. For
Yeah.
me, it's like it's under $10 million, and I kind of know what kind of marketing budget they have. And then you go above that, then it's like it scales tremendously what they're putting in. But being able to um, just invest in however you can, being, investing into your brand and you as an individual is so critical. It really makes such a big difference to have that connection with your client. I can't preach that enough. I always preach that to my clients. If you were comfortable enough, get on camera. Even like and John's such a great example of it. I mean, you've really poured yourself into that effort to do it. I see it on the YouTube shorts and the social media that you're like, hey, this is me, this is my family, this is my life, it's my brand, all those things. And so you're a really good example of not being comfortable. And AJ, he may have just been really terrible when he was working with you because he was terrible when I started working with him.
It's true.
But you had him for a couple of years, so God bless you.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's all true.
I'm gonna
D-
say that you're better at it than me. I think that's why you're still in the business.
Well, he's my toughest lesson. He was my toughest client. I looked at him as I used him
The
with all my other
project
clients.
as an
Other references
example.
like, listen, I got this roofer guy. He's the worst,
He's-
and you're better than him. So that's
Just
always
remember
makes
you're
them feel
not
better.
that guy. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm trying to build them up while bringing you down.
And then you actually keep my videos on your phone so you can just show them how bad I am.
Oh
And then you're
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, here you go. See this? Don't do this.
Hey, watch how many times he blinks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
he didn't
doesn't
blink.
blink.
He didn't blink once? No. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Like, hey, John, blink. It's like, oh yeah,
Literally yesterday, I was shooting videos for Proline and I was like, I blink, dang it. I wasn't blinking at all. I was like, oh, well, Jesse's right. I don't blink.
no,
yeah. Is it just? I think it's just a you being on video thing, isn't
I'm,
it?
I
that's
mean,
not
I
how you
think,
are normally. It
no.
Yeah.
switches. Yeah.
Yeah,
I ha
but that is the exact what you're saying right now is exactly why you need to work with somebody like Jesse because you have to get to the point where you're comfortable. And after all that work, literally thousands of hours now of doing this, I'm still not perfectly comfortable. That just shows you there's no excuse. Whether you are starting out and you have barely any budget, you need to do something because it's not going to get any easier. You've got to put yourself out there. I'm not comfortable, like Jesse's saying. I'm not great, but I know it's really important, and it actually works. It sells jobs, like it did last week. It does all the time. If you keep doing it consistently and you have something of value, you just talk about something that you know customers always ask you, it's going to work. You need to make sure that it consistently gets to customers. Like the video has to get to them. But it does actually work. It is important. It does help your business actually grow and build trust. They want to know, like, and trust you, and the video does that as long as you do it consistently and do it well.
Yep.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Um, I want to get a little specific here, so we can create some solid takeaways for our listeners. So, if they're looking to get into video, they want to get better on camera. What can we kind of go down the list of what is the most common things that you generally have to work with people on? I mean, is maybe blanking as one of them. But what are these common things that, if I'm trying to get better on camera, what is the list that I can go down? And obviously you need some feedback from somebody else, but what is the list that I can go down personally and try to get myself to be better on camera?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like that, just been doing this for so long and seeing somebody, you can tell what their level of comfort pretty quick. Folks who are like, I feel like maybe it's the Gen X and older. We didn't grow up with cameras. We didn't grow up with like phones in our face all the time. And I feel like that demo needs a lot more help. Below that, people were kind of more used to that, and they're like used to doing selfies, and so they have a little bit more natural feel to it. But you know, I think the first thing is to just relax, take a deep breath, um, and feel like it's okay to feel silly and dumb and stupid. Like, because that is just, you just have to like accept it that, you know what, I probably look like a dumb dumb right now, but if you have somebody who can kind of coach you through it, you'll be fine. Um, but you know, one of the first things I would say is that I, I almost always tell them is that you have to be outside of yourself. That's like, I think that's the number one thing that kind of connects with people is like the camera is going to compress your personality. It's going to make you feel flatter, softer spoken, insecure. It just compresses personality. So like the number one thing I tell them is like go above and outside your regular personality. Like if it feels awkward and feels uncomfortable, then that's great. And I tell them like, look, if you're going too much, like, hey, I'm Jesse. It's like, all right, let's dial it down. But at least you kind of have a level of like, okay, I've reached that the point where it's silly. I can bring it back, and then it feels a whole lot less silly and natural, and more natural. And that is really, I think, the number one thing that I see the most change in people is they like, I'm going to be way more expressive than I am normally, because it's going to come across on camera. Doesn't matter how you feel in the person or feel in the moment. It's like, how does it look on camera? And I can turn around. It's like, hey, look, now you look natural. Now you look excited. Now you look like you belong here. Nobody expects you to be an actor, right? No, people watching it's like, hey, this is a business owner, not some hired talent. Um, and so leveling that expectation, it helps. But really, that number one rule is just like, hey, it's going to compress, come out.
I can concur. That is it. That is definitely the number one coaching during filming that you've given me, is that just exactly what you're saying. Be silly, feel awkward, use more expression in your face, use your hands at a more animated way, use better body language, relax your like those things. It's like, we didn't really talk about this, but like if you're a roofing contractor, you get to somebody's house, you get out of the truck. How do you feel at that moment when you're getting out of the truck? You know how you feel. It's natural. You are comfortable in the situation. You know what's going on, and you know how to explain. If a customer walks up to you, you know exactly what to say. You know what to say. You know how to handle the situation, or at least you should. And that's where you want to get. Whatever that feeling is when you're good at your job, get that way on camera. And it generally means you're going to have to relax and be more expressionable. Like when you show me the camera, I'm like, oh yeah, that actually looks way better. That's actually what I look like. I should be looking like on
Yeah.
camera. It's not fake. It's just like, oh, this is interactive. The body language is much better. My
Yeah.
face is not like blinkless.